Well met, adventurer. My name's Galena. Galliana? Maybe Galliana. And I work at the House of Splendors for my Aunt Rowena. Your aunt? Following her successful expansion into Idleshire and the 3 city-states, she's decided to bring her operations here to Ralger's Reach. Our presence here serves to aid the recovery effort, creating jobs for refugees and stimulating the economy. With your skills, you would be a great help to us. And of course, if you have any collectibles, I'd be happy to take them off your hands in exchange for scripts. With locations realm-wide, it has never been easier to do business with the House of Splendors. Why is that still a plus quest? Oh, okay, maybe I just need to talk to her first. None forgotten, none forsaken. Galliana is on the lookout for an enterprising adventurer. I heard from Aunt Rowena that you're quite the artisan. If that's true, I've got a proposition for you. As I mentioned before, we like to think that our relationship with the people of the Reach is mutually beneficial. We create jobs and opportunities for people to live better lives. Perhaps you know Monago, one of the leaders of the Resistance? She not only agrees with what I said, but has even taken a personal interest in the collectibles trade. But while I'm sure she's a brilliant soldier with a head for tactics, the collectibles market is an altogether different battlefield. Still, with the help of a few good crafters and gatherers, I'm sure she'll find her footing in no time. That's where you come in, if you wanted to, that is. Go and see her if you're interested, or don't. I'm interested! Monago! Good to see you, Kat. If you're looking for Lise... No, I'm looking for you. Eh? Who told you I'd taken an interest in collectibles trade? Some little birdie. I'm surprised. I knew you were many things, but an accomplished artisan was not one of them. We would have been fools to turn you away when you offered to help the Resistance, and I'd be a fool to do it now. You're probably wondering why I decided to try my hand at a different trade. Truth is, it's not for me, but for the ones who couldn't be here today. The ones who aren't here to see what we've accomplished. A free Alamigo. A new beginning. A new future. After we defeated Xenos and the 12th, I thought long and hard about what I ought to do next. I was with the relatives of some of the dead in recompense when I realized I had lost comrades. But them? They'd lost husbands and wives, mothers and fathers, breadwinners. Every day would be harder than the last. We'd won them freedom, the freedom to be poor and die starving. Where's the justice in that? So I decided I'd do something about it. I'd establish a fund for the widows and orphans, our way of giving a little back in honor for those who gave us their all. There was just one problem. I don't know the first thing about making gil. Other than soldiering, my only other talent was hunting, and I'll not raise more than a fraction of what I need selling pelts. But when little Galliana told me about collectibles and the prices people were willing to pay, I knew I'd found the answer. I'll not deny I've got a lot to learn, but I'm ready and willing to give it my all. So what say you? Up for helping me fill custom orders for a good cause? Of course, I'll not ask you to do it for free. You'll get your cut. Script's good with any of the house's people. Yeah, exactly what I want. But it's fine, I'm here to help. Glad to have you on board. First order of business. I'm in the market for some Gurabania souvenirs. Since the liberation of Alamigo, trade with other regions has been steadily increasing. Commodities people had to struggle to get here are easier to obtain, and people are getting a taste for more and more, Gridanians in particular. I've got a feeling this is going to be the start of something special. Also, it's thunderstorming. In the game, not in real life. Custom deliveries unlocked for Monago! The most upsetting part, though, chat? Monago can never be changed clothes. You can never change Monago's clothes. You can only change everyone. You can literally change everyone's clothes except Monago and one other person. And like I said, they're not humanoid, so it makes sense. Gurabani and souvenirs. I need 3 of them. Or you, probably. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Let's each do our best, eh, Kat? Yeah. You already told me this. I just didn't give her anything. How dare you? All right. So you brought some Gurabanian souvenirs? Good, good. For all they preach about not being wasteful, they sure don't seem to mind wasting gil. Now then, on closer inspection, bugger me, you don't see something like that every day. Hells, you're lucky to see something like that once in a blue moon. I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. I'm crafting. All right. We'll give her this one. That's fine. I don't care. She says the same thing. I won't care for now. Okay, she'll say something new. Thank you so much for all your help, Kat. I think we've got enough goods to satisfy my Gridanian clients. Or better yet, whet their appetite for even more. You're welcome. Oh, cussing. Lurk all you need, Kat. The Gridanian collectors send their warmest regards, Kat. The items you provided were quite well received, I'm told. Thanks to the contributions of you and others, we've earned enough gil to start providing payments to some of the bereaved families. In fact, a young woman from one such family is here today and would like to say a few words.
My name's Germaine, sir. I joined the resistance together with my father, but when the Imperials attacked the Reach, he was killed. I'm grateful for what you're doing, I am. I won't deny it's been hard ever since he passed, but I wasn't expecting anything, nor do I think I deserve it. But thank you all the same.
Aww.
I didn't want to be a soldier when I was little. I wanted to learn things, get an education. Didn't work out that way on account of the occupation, of course. That's why Father and I joined the fight. But now that the occupation's ended, I've been thinking, when El Amigo needed soldiers, I became one. But now El Amigo needs learned men and women, so I'm thinking that's what I'll use your guild to finally become. Thank you for this opportunity, sir.
Oh, I love your voice for her. Xenos himself cut her father down when he came to the Reach that day. From what I heard, he died giving his daughter a chance to escape. We all had to make choices that day. I was wounded, so I chose to flee with Kryle and some of the others. But I wanted to stay and fight. I told him. I screamed at him. But Mifrid... Oh, that's Mifrid's daughter? He wouldn't hear it. So he stayed, and I ran. I lived, and he died. Came to light recently that he had a family, too, a wife and child. He never mentioned them before, so I had no idea. I'd like to help them like the other families, but we don't know where they got to. Oh, that's not them. Or even if they're still alive. But we'll keep on searching until we do. In the meantime, I'll have to content myself with helping those I can, and I do hope I can continue to count on you for your assistance. This is but the first step on an endless road, full many of our friends died, and we owe it to them to do right by their loved ones. And we will, Kat. I know we will. Where there's a will, there's a way. Aww, Wanago. We're now a supporter of the Resistance, Widows, and Orphans? Is that what it said?
Yeah, probably.
Fund. Widows and Orphans Fund. I can want to say Windows.
Those two.
And yet there's still much work to be done before the fund can provide sufficient aid to all the families of the deceased. To that end, Monago has a new favor to ask you. We did well with those Gridanian collectors, but we'll need to expand if we want to continue raising money for the fund. In short, I'd like to start dealing in Far Eastern collectibles. Apparently, according to General Alden, there are a number of wealthy individuals in Ulda with a deep and abiding love for all things Hingen. It goes without saying that the Uldan elite have more gil to spend than their Gridanian counterparts on average, so I expect we can turn a greater profit with this venture. It'll be more work than before, but I know you're up to the task. How do you know? We're now 2. Satisfaction guaranteed, Monago. Custom deliveries list has been updated. To view it, speak with her or make it delivered. Yeah. So Far Eastern Antiques. Oh, that's not what I meant. Okay. Much obliged for all the help, Kat. The soldiers' families give you their thanks as well. Far Eastern Antiques. Oh, right. Oh, well. Far Eastern Antiques, is it? Damned if I know how you can craft an antique, but the collectors don't seem to pay it any mind. If anything, this sort seems to appeal more. Now then, on closer inspection, bugger me, you don't see something like this every day. Hells, you're lucky to see something like that once in a blue moon. I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. Alright. That's fine. She'll say the same thing there. And same thing, but this will be different. Oh, or cussing. Gotta say, Kat, you've done more than your fair share for the fund. Wouldn't want to impose upon you further. Not right now. Rest up and come around another time, alright? Say about a week. You've made The transition was so jerky. You have delivered the weekly maximum of 6 items to Monago. You may begin making deliveries starting Tuesday. We did it.
Okay, Monago, see you next Tuesday.
Yup. Wow. Okay. Much obliged for the help, Kat. The soldiers' families give you their thanks as well. You get these. Far Eastern Antiques, is it? Damned if I know how you can craft an antique, but the collectors don't seem to pay it any mind. If anything, it sort of seems to appeal more. Now then, on closer inspection, bugger me, you don't see something like that every day. Hells, you're lucky to see something like that once in a blue moon. I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. Okay. Says the same thing there. And last one. I don't care. That ought to do it for now, Kat. Give me a moment to add this to our next outgoing shipment. Okay. Cutscene. It's even better than we hoped, Kat. Those Uldan collectors did their best to outbid each other for our Far Eastern collectibles. The proceeds have far exceeded our expectations. We have enough to expand our operations and start looking after even more families.
Excuse me, well, no one of consequence, really. It was my son who fought and died for the Resistance. I came to thank you for your kindness and generosity, especially at a time like this when everyone should be looking to bigger and more important challenges, like the rebuilding of our great nation. My son liked to say that when the fighting was finished, he would become a merchant. He'd sell anything and everything so that he could earn money and look after me. I suppose in a way he is now, but I'd give it all up and more if I'm sorry, I don't mean any disrespect for what you've done for me and mine, but thank you, sir. Good day to you.
Her son died when the main tower at Specula Imperatoris fell. I was with Conrad before it happened. With him when he was urging those damn fool skulls to lay down their arms and surrender. And he managed to do it. And then... Part of me still wonders. Did we owe it to them to try and save them too? To dig through the rubble and try to help those ones who were trying to kill us only moments before? Conrad would have wanted it, I know. But he was in no state to give orders. And those of us that were, well... So he died, and they died. Conrad, our comrades, enemies that surrendered and those that didn't. Death all around and round. Not that any of us had any inkling to what was coming. Would Conrad have spent all that time negotiating if he had... Would he and full many others still be alive if he had... Sorry, no use dwelling on it. Best to look to the here and now. To what good we've done and what more we can do. All this talk about Conrad, don't know if you knew, but he had a wife. I've not taken any guilt to her yet. Reckon she'd still like to refuse until she knows the others are being looked after. So I thought it best to wait. When the time comes, though, perhaps we ought to go and see her together. Satisfaction up. Aw, we're now benefactor of the Resistance, widows, and what? Manago's delighted with your efforts. She now considers you a benefactor of the Resistance, Widows, and Orphans Fund. And yet there's still much to be done before the fund can provide sufficient aid to all the families of the deceased. To that end, Manago has a new favor to ask you. Like before, I reckon it'd be the best if we tried to trade in more diverse range of collectibles. Next, I'm thinking we ought to try our hand at consolation prizes from the Gold Saucer. I trust you're familiar with the saucer and its many delights. It's no secret, but in case you were unaware, it employs more than a few Alamegans. One of them happens to be a friend of mine. I mentioned the fund one day, and just like that, we got ourselves a new partner in crime. Let me explain. There are prizes available only at the Gold Saucer. Commodities sold exclusively to them by certain select suppliers. We're now one of them, savvy? I'll wager you didn't think a soldier like me had any luck with places like the Saucer, eh? Bet you're wondering if I might run off with our profits and spend it all on MGP and silly hats. I feel called out. With hair like this? Like hells I will. Alright, enough talk. Let's get to work. Ironically, you can get her hair from the Gold Saucer. Satisfaction guaranteed 3. Just need to make a delivery. Now Manago's at 3 hearts. Yeah, Gold Saucer Consolation, which needs 3, so I need 9. Bugger me. Being a merchant's a lot more tiring than I ever imagined. How are you holding up, Kat? Here you go. That's not what I meant to do.
Also, why were you surprised that Monago was not at the event? They're here.
Yeah, I just was wondering if that was them because they have the same hairstyle. But I forgot Monago's hair's a little yellower and I forgot their eye color.
But Monago's here.
Oh my god. Not everybody can walk away from the saucer with a fabulous prize. Some people even prefer these. And there are even those who won't even ever bother to visit, but like to pretend they did. Or maybe they've got some other reason for buying them. Who knows? Now then, on closer inspection. Bugger me, you don't see something like that every day. Hells, you're lucky to see something like that once in a blue moon. I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. Thank you. I don't care about the white crafter script.
I don't know what would possibly mean you couldn't do it, Quinn.
Oh, cutscene. I don't know how you can keep it up, Kat. Honestly, you're a veritable fountain of endless energy. But I'll not hear it said that I'm keeping you all to myself. You've got places to go and other people to help. Take care and thanks again. Thanks, Monago. All right, you have delivered the weekly maximum of 6 items to Monago. You may begin making deliveries again Tuesday of next week. If I do botanist, that means I have to do 3 for Monago right now. So if you need to do botanist, you search by gathering, search for item by gathering method. So you right click it, do that. I don't know how to do it on controller, but. And then East End, you just click it and it tells you where to find it. So Rauger's Reach is right here, so it's right outside. So you would go down to here. It's telling me how to gather collectibles. I already know. Thank you. I don't want the help. Thank you. So you want to hit this. And how I always do it, I think, is this and this. Like every time. This is just how Rivers taught me, and it's how I've always done it. Do it again. And luckily it did 100%, which is awesome. That doesn't always happen. So now you would collect. Once it's at 1,000% collect, or 1,000 collectability, then you gather it. And you have as many as is available, and luckily we just need 3. So that works out perfectly. Bugger me, being a merchant's a lot more tiring than I ever imagined. How you holding up, Kat? I got things for you. Some of the more educated collectors say that the Near Eastern influences are quite prominent in these designs. I don't know about that, but I do know that plenty of people are happy to pay good gil for them, or MGP, as it were. Now then, on closer inspection. Bugger me, you don't see something like that every day. Hells, you're lucky to see something like that once in a blue moon. I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. That line's always the same, but it's fine. Da, 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 da. All right. And with that, I reckon we've got more than enough for our needs. Here's hoping the folks of the Gold Saucer are satisfied. At the saucer, same thing. Are satisfied with the quality of your work. Welcome. Oh, cussing. Good news, Kat. The consolation prizes we sold to the Gold Saucer turned out to be more popular than we ever imagined. More profits means more aid for the families. In fact, we've got enough to go around now that I doubt Conrad's widow will object to taking some for herself. Also, we found Mifred's widow. I have a mind to visit the both of them to deliver their bit. And soon. I think I mentioned this to you before, but I was hoping you'd want to come with me when I do, on account of your connection. When you're up for it, let me know. Yeah, let's do it. We're now a savior of the Resistance Widows and Orphans Fund. Monago is overjoyed with your efforts. She now considers you a savior of the Resistance and Widows Orphans Fund. A new quest continuing the story of the Resistance Widows and Orphans Fund is now available. Upon its completion, the custom deliveries list from Monaco will be updated. Oh, that didn't yeet me in, though. Rude? Not while their names are still spoken. Monaco is ready to depart when you are. So you're ready, then? Good. This is long overdue. We'll start by paying a visit to Mifred's widow. She's living in Algiri. with her daughter. I'll need a moment to gather my things, so go on ahead and I'll meet you there. Okay. Let's go and be sad. This is Gila and her little sister. Oh my god. This is Gila and her little girl. I asked them to meet us here so we might have a bit of privacy. Oh. Is darkness my old friend?
Put that away. I'll not pretend we've got it easy, but I never asked for anyone's charity. Least of all his. Our marriage, such as it was, ended ages ago.
Awkward. But I don't understand.
What is there to? He said he wanted to fight the good fight, but was afraid of putting us in danger. Was all bollocks, and we both knew it at the time. Fighting for your homeland sounds noble, it does, but it was nothing more than an excuse to not be beholden to his wife and daughter any longer.
You're wrong about him, and I can prove it. There's something else I brought for you.
What's this, a charm?
Mifrid's. He was holding it when he died. Kat can attest to that. Not a ward of the Destroyer, but a hand-carved wooden charm, with the faces of a mother and a child. Don't you see? What mattered to him most in those final moments wasn't his homeland or his faith. It was...
Mifrid.
Aw, Monaga. That's what I believe, at least. But I won't presume to claim I know him better than you did. I do know that he'd want you to have this money, though. If not for yourself, for your little girl. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Thank you for everything. I'll be sure to put it to good use.
Aligiri saw more than its fair share of Imperial soldiers during the occupation. No one with any ties to the Resistance was safe here. I imagine that played a part in the decisions Mifrid made. Who knows why he never told us? For their sake or for his. Maybe both. No use dwelling on it. From here, we've got to continue east to see Conrad's widow. He had her hiding in an abandoned village deep in the mountains for some time. But now that the occupation's ended, there's no need for that. She's living in the Alamegan quarter at present. I'll lead the way. Emotions? This is Greedy. She's been waiting a long time to meet us. Okay. You wanna be greedy?
Sure.
Greedy? I'm not sure how to say it.
I've heard stories about your fund and what you've done for the families of the fallen. It's good work you're doing, and Conrad would be proud. And you must be Kat. I'm grateful to you beyond measure for what you did for my husband and for our homeland.
There's no need to stand on our account. Please, take a seat.
Told you about my legs, did he? Well, I'm not too proud to say no. He told me a lot about you too, Monago. Enough that I'm half tempted to call you Nago, even though he didn't. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. Also, I'm a rude bitch, apparently. We never had a child of our own, and yet, the way his face would light up when he spoke of you and your mischief, like a father boasting about his little girl. I couldn't help but think of you in that way too sometimes.
He was a father to us all in a way, and we're all the better for his guidance. I wish I could have done more to repay the favor when he was alive, or to you now, but all I've got to offer is that Gil and my gratitude.
You've all done so much more than you realize. You've changed people, spurred them to strive to be better, like the young man who's been helping me. Ah, speaking of which, here comes my booty call now.
Do you want to be booty call?
Mrs. Gray, I've went and bought those things you wanted.
Wait, I know that voice. But from where? Specula Imperatorus! You were the one speaking for the skulls, but how? I thought you all died in that main tower.
You've got good ears. Aye, all right, I'm Rudolph. I was one of the crania lupi. Don't remember much of it when the tower came down. Hit my head or something. All I remember was waking up beneath a pile of rubble, lucky to be alive.
Fair enough. But tell me why you would come here.
Where else could I go? Apparently the Imperials were willing to kill me, and the Resistance weren't like to treat me any better. I reckoned best chance I had was to take off my uniform and join this lot. Had no idea what had happened, to be honest. Wasn't until later that I learned Commander Kemp himself had died in the battle. Didn't know much about the man other than that he was leader of the Resistance, that he had a wife named Grade who'd gone into hiding, and that he died because he wanted me and my comrades to live. I owed him, so I sought her out and did what I could. It'd never make up for it, I knew, but it was better than nothing. A way to pass the time until you found me. Earnest to a fault, isn't it? It's like the moment he took off the mask, he couldn't hold anything back. After all the effort Conrad went through to save his life, I thought it'd be a shame for it to go to waste, so I accepted his help. I knew it couldn't last, that you'd find me one day. I'm unarmed. I surrender. Do with me what you will.
Got nothing to do. Way I see it, the skulls died in that tower. Wait, Way I see it, the skulls died that day in the tower.
Why would you?
'Cause sometimes you've got to try not hitting the other person's back. The other person back. Otherwise, we'll all have bruised knuckles and bloody noses.
I don't know what to say. Thank you? I appreciate you agreeing to look the other way. Conrad would too, I'd like to think.
He wanted to give them another chance. It's not my place to take it away. God damn dust getting in my eyes.
We honor the dead by living well, by carrying on their legacy. And in many ways, you carry on Conrad's. But we mustn't forget to spend time with the people dearest to us while we can. You still have both your parents, yes? You ought to go and see them. I'm sure they think about you every day.
Yes, I'll do just that. It's on the way back, so if it's all right with you, I'd like to pay a visit to the Pier and Stones. Thanks. It's been too long since I saw my mother and father. Aww. Hi, Mraz Nun. Wait, I'm sorry. Is her dad the nun? That makes sense. Wait. That does make sense, but I'm still upset about it. I know too much about the Mikate now. It's upsetting. You want to be him?
No, there she is, the pride of the Im tribe. I only wish you had sent word in advance so we could have begun preparations for the feast.
Please, Father. We're only here for a short time. We had business in the peaks, and I'll thank you to stop with the pride of the tribe rubbish. Tribe.
Now, what's the world come to if a father can't dote on his daughter? And besides, it's true. You ought to know by now how much your sisters look up to you.
Aye. It's nothing but. Look at Nago going out and getting things done, moving up the ranks in the Resistance, bringing honor to the M tribe. Wait, who was the one saying this? I thought that was the mom saying this. Well, she sounds much older than she is, sorry. People be telling that story for years, you know? How you rode Abda through a storm of cannon fire to the top of Veladina with nothing but a satchel of glamour prisms and won the day. Pity you've got no skills other than soldierin', though. Your cooking's especially bad. Rude. That's who I meant to speak for? I meant to ask, Father. We're short of wood for arrows. Meant to go and gather some myself, but I wasn't sure where I ought to search.
Gather? Child, you should have learned by now that you'll have little luck finding suitable trees near our village. Better to trade for the wood.
Bye. You know, I started a fund for the widows and orphans of the resistance soldiers who died in battle. We've raised a great deal of gil through the collectibles trade, and in the process I've made friends with a lot of merchants. If there's anything the village lacks, maybe I could use those connections to get you what you need.
So little Nago has taken up a new trade. If I had to choose between bartering with a stranger in Alagiri or relying on my own daughter, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I'll be in touch then. I promise you won't regret this. Right, we should hurry back to the Reach. With me, Kat. Why did your mom say absolutely nothing? Is your mom okay? What the fuck was that? Thanks again for accompanying me, Kat. I know it ended up being a lot more complicated than expected. Right then, I promised my father I'd help the village, and I mean to do just that. I'm in the market for sundry goods, and if you could help, I'd be most grateful. You'll still get your bit, as will the fund. Everyone will be happy in the end, you've got my word on that. I'm counting on you, partner. All right. Da-da-da-da. I got you. Peaks Pigment. For the ones we left behind, and for the ones we've still got to look after. Let's do some good today, Kat. Aw. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Can never have too much pigment, many of our tribe's elders would say. Not that I need to tell an adventurer that. I've heard stories of how some of you lot go through enough dye to put Sultana to shame. How dare you call me out like this? You've my heartfelt thanks for these, and my parents besides. I'd like to think the tribe is doing all right these days, but every bit helps. I just got personally called out by Monago. That's the first time they haven't, complimented my crafting. Interesting. All right. Oh. I keep hearing that wolf in the distance. Gotta say, Kat, you've done more than your fair share for the fund. Wouldn't want to impose upon you further, not right now. Rest up and come around another time, all right? I got you. You have delivered the weekly maximum of 6 items. It'll be available at Tuesday. Let's go! Peaks Pigment. For the ones we left behind, and for the ones we've still got to look after, let's do some good today, Kat. All right, here's some dye, I guess. Can never have too much pigment, many of our tribe's elders would say. Not that I need to tell an adventurer that. I have heard stories of how some of you lot go through enough dye to put a sultana to shame. Don't call me out like this. You've my heartfelt thanks for these, and my parents besides. I'd like to think the tribe is doing all right these days, but every bit helps. Here's 2 more, because I guess you really need the same pigment of the same color. And I leveled up. Let's go. And the giving.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for all your help, Kat. I think it's safe to say that the tribe will be overjoyed to receive these supplies. Okay. Cussy. Everyone in the village was overjoyed to receive our supplies. Both the quality and quantity surpassed their expectations. It puts my mind at ease to know that the tribe has what it needs, and that we'll be able to continue sending regular payments to the beneficiaries of our fund for the foreseeable future. Hello? Mother, what are you doing out here in the Reach?
I know you're awfully busy with your duties in the fund, but there was something I wanted to say when you visited before but couldn't. Come home, Nago. Alamigo is free. You've done enough for these people. Come home and be with your family again.
But Mother, I have responsibilities here.
To the families of your comrades, I know, and I think what you're doing is wonderful, but I worry you place their needs ahead of your own. You deserve to live your own life, to do what you want, what makes you happy, which is why I'm telling you what to do.
I am doing what makes me happy, Mother. Don't you see? Helping these people in this way, and there's so much more we can do. I know it's not the life you had in mind for me. It's not what I had in mind when I was younger either. But after everything I've been through, everything I've shared with my brothers and sisters in arms, I can't just walk away. It won't make up for what they've lost. No amount of gil weighs the same as a loved one's soul, but it's better than nothing. So no, I won't go back. This is the life I chose, and I've no regrets.
Still have that same fire in your eyes and steel in your voice you had when you said you wanted to join the resistance. Can't blame a mother for trying, can you? I respect your decision, and I'll say no more on it. All I ask is that you come and visit more. Much more.
I'll see what I can do, Mother. Having flashbacks. That was an abrupt music change, or end. Well, that was unexpected, though not entirely unwelcome. It's good to remember where you came from, and why you did what you did. Anyway, now that we've finished with our efforts to help my village, I'd like to concentrate our efforts solely on doing what we can for the resistance and the families in need. With your help, that is. I'm assuming I can still count on it? Whatever you're able and willing to provide us is all I ask, Kat. All right. Satisfaction up. I'm not champion of widows and orphans. That sounds weird. Nago cannot be happier with your efforts. She now considers you a champion of the widows and orphans. Through your efforts, the fund will provide substantial benefits to the families of the fallen resistance fighters for some time. It seems, however, that Nago has different sort of favor to ask of you. Which I think is just a wrap-up. Are those banners now? So I imagine you're wondering exactly what sort of deliveries I had in mind. Frankly, I say why not focus on ourselves and what the resistance could use. Materials always appreciated, among other things. Rebuilding Alamigo is gonna take everything we can muster. Artisans like you will have a reliable client in us. Everything you've done got... Everything you've done got... Everything you've got and more, we'll take it. She turned real southern there. Everything you done got. All right.
Everything you done got.
Nago 5. Further requests will be selected at random from all those you have seen thus far, with the list refreshed once a week. You may now review the items. Note the resistance material. Okay. All right, we finished. Nago is done. Let's go. We cannot change her outfit. Sorry, chat. It's not possible. She's the only person, one of the only people. I'm saving the world, Mom. God.
I'm
Also,
honestly not sure if Kat noticed me there.
what? What? You're here?
God damn it. You're running and jumping around me in circles.
I'm sorry. Oh my God, you're dead. F's in chat for Fender.